Welcome to another episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for FootballAnalysisOne.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals, the Buffalo Bills, fantasy football, and the NFL in general. Also, I'm a writer for CFLNewsHub.com. I cover the Hamilton Tiger Cats and other parts of the CFL. On Football Scientific, we also cover the UFL, the IFL, the NAL, and the ELF, European League of Football. And starting tomorrow, we'll be covering college football. Okay, we're going to start by doing a preview of the Mid-American Conference, the MAC. Okay, going through our preview of the MAC, the really what I view probably as the most fun conference in college football, although it's probably the lowest ranked. Okay, but it is fun and it's a good testing ground for coaches and for players to move up, especially in the NIL, the transfer situation. They can move up from the MAC, the MAC. Pretty easily, Mid-American Conference. So we're going to go through and preview that. Also, the Cradle of Coaches there, Miami of Ohio. So we're going to see how that goes tomorrow. But today, we're just going to do a quick rundown of the most recent news in the NFL and the CFL and the ELF and UFL. So that's the plan for today. I'm joined by my guest host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger, fired up, ready to go. NFL news, CFL news. Training camp is right around it. It's starting for some teams. It's starting. The NFL's going to... I'm pumped for the NFL. Let's go Bengals. Let's go Tiger Cats. Yes. Let's go. Do it. Let's go. Okay, that's enough, Tyler. Okay, all right. So, as we mentioned, we're going to start with some NFL news. Okay, and we're going to go into some training camp stuff. So first, the New York Jets. Yesterday, if you didn't see my short... Yesterday, the New York Jets came to an agreement for a contract extension with wide receiver Garrett Wilson. He has reached a 4-year extension worth $130 million. He's now the 5th highest paid receiver in the NFL. He hasn't really produced. I mean, he's shown some things, but he hasn't produced a lot of big wins. I'm not sure if I would go all over $130 million, but I think they will because they have so little things going on that's good in New York. With the Giants and the Jets, they're just trying to celebrate what they can, okay? LD wants to stay there, so they want to keep him there. Okay, in Week 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be wearing their orange creamsicle uniforms. Yes, the happy little pirate and the white and orange uniforms are back. Orange creamsicle, that'll be back for 3 games this year. Teams are announcing their throwback games, and that's Tampa Bay's, and they're wearing the orange creamsicle uniforms, okay? Their original uniforms. LA Chargers, they have the rest of their team. They started having rookies report to training camp on Saturday. The rest of the team is reporting to camp today. The training camp's going to fire up. Why are they reporting so early? Well, they're playing Detroit in the Hall of Fame game July 31st. Okay, so that's why they're getting started so early. That's how it goes. Early preseason game, early camp. Dallas Cowboys, quarterback Trayvon Diggs is expected to miss early part of the season. 2025 is dealing with some stuff. Former Buffalo Bills edge rusher Von Miller, who had 6 sacks last year. Yikes. It says at least 3 teams are interested in him. Of course, he wouldn't say no one's interested in him. But I think he's going to probably give it one more year. But he was real bad for the Bills last year, especially with as much money we were paying him. So I wouldn't go back down that road. It's like Stephon Diggs. I wouldn't go back down that road, okay? Houston Texans, they have given Jaden Higgins, their 2nd-round pick from this year's draft, a fully guaranteed 4-year contract. That's real bad news for the Bengals, okay? Because the Bengals are resisting giving Shamar Stewart, who's the number 17 pick in the draft, 4-year guaranteed contract. But now a precedent's been set that a 2nd-round pick has been given that. And we mentioned yesterday that there are 30 second-round picks unsigned. Now there's 29. And the problem with that is the Texans are probably making a bad business decision by giving him 4 years, fully guaranteed money. And that's going to trickle down to the rest of the league. Because once you set a precedent, which is why Shamar Stewart's not wanting to sign the contract for the Bengals, you don't want to set a precedent, that, if you get hurt in workouts, you lose your contract. But... now a different precedent's been set, and that is a 2nd-round pick gets fully guaranteed money. And that, if I was Shamar Stewart, I'd be celebrating today, and I'd start having my agent talk about, hey man, a 2nd-round pick got a fully guaranteed contract. I'm a first-round pick. I deserve a fully guaranteed contract. Bad for the Bengals business, but maybe it will finally bring an end to that situation. We can get our actual draft pick on the field. Not that he was the right pick. I've never agreed he was the best pick. Okay, especially as an edge rusher. He's basically a D tackle playing defensive end. It worked for A&M. They run an odd front. We run an even front. He needs to be a real defensive end. He's not. He's a run stopper. Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers caused him more trouble. This weekend he almost ran into a kid and didn't apologize. And then he also refused to sign autographs, okay? So everyone's kind of getting mad about that stuff. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't care, I'm pretty sure. He's just here for 1 year to win a Super Bowl. All this other crap. Run the kid over. Don't sign autographs. It's probably spit in a Pittsburgh Steelers face. And today it probably improved their face. If you know anything about Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they're pretty gross. It probably improved their looks if he spit in their face. But he's just making people mad. That's what he's been doing. Who cares? It's off the field stuff, you know. All right. LA Chargers. There's been a lot of talk about Mike Williams having a bounce-back season after a rough year last year. They said yesterday they thought he was going to bounce back pretty well. But now he's on the PUP list. Oh, no. Physically unable to perform list for training camp. That's real bad, okay? Doesn't sound like he's going to bounce back. Other teams reporting to training camp today. The rookies are reporting training camp for the New York Giants, just rookies. New York Giants, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers, Miami Dolphins, and the Seattle Seahawks. They're about to fire up some training camp, which should be good for football fans, okay? Should be fun to watch and keep track of after a long offseason in the NFL. Okay, in the UFL. Long-time spring league veteran, offensive lineman Sean Brown is retiring. He has played in the past for the LA Wildcats, Philadelphia Stars, Houston Roughnecks, and Albany Firebirds. He has done, not that anyone will notice, because no one watches many of those leagues, who don't exist anymore. Okay, in the UFL, Michigan Panthers and Houston Roughnecks, awkwardly enough, are the only team signing players right now. And they signed a bunch more. So they may not be in the memo. Maybe the UFL's folding. I don't know that for sure. But why would no teams be re-signing their players except for the Michigan Panthers and Houston Roughnecks? I feel like they didn't get the memo. No one else is signing players. It sounds weird. Okay, Michigan Panthers signed defensive tackle Taylor Stallworth. And then Houston Roughnecks signed defensive tackle Israel Antoine, safety Leon O'Neal Jr., cornerback Malik Dunlap, punter Mike Rivers, offensive guard Noah Atagi, offensive guard Samuel Jackson, defensive end TJ Franklin, and linebacker Xavier Benson. Okay, and you gotta ask yourself, if you're signing with a UFL team right now, why is no one else signing players? Why is no one else signing? It seems like a bad omen. Okay, but maybe they're just ahead of the curve. Maybe they're just ahead of the curve. They're going to go win a championship next year because they're ahead of the curve. Maybe. If I knew what the UFL was thinking, I would probably still cover them in terms of writing. But it's too sketch for me. I can't keep up. It's like the AF1. It might be a fine league. It just sounds sketchy. Okay. National Arena League is really my bottom rung. That's pretty sketchy too. CFL, Calgary Stampeders have signed national linebacker Justin Herndon Reed, and Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed offensive line Dorian, so not Dixon. I think I announced that yesterday that they did that. Trying to get back on track to losing to Calgary. Interesting note in the European League of Football, the ELF. Today is the last day for ELF teams to sign original players to a contract for the season. So that means that they can't sign any more imports or European imports after today. It means if a guy gets injured, they cannot replace him. What they can do is they can move people from their practice roster to their active roster. They can trade people still. They just can't sign new players to the league. Players new to the league to their contracts now. Okay. Now, if you know anything about the ELF, it does happen to turn over players quite often. People ain't got time to lose. So they are quick to fire coaches. They're quick to move players along, send them back to the United States, get them out of here. Okay. They're kind of tight with their money, so they got to make sure they're making good investments. And the investing time is about over, as rosters will be locked. Not locked internally, but locked from external players today. Okay, so that's going to make the ELF interesting. There's still, I think there's 4 weeks left, maybe 5 weeks left with a bye week in there. Okay, and that's going to determine who's going to make the playoffs in the ELF. Who's going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure I know who is going to be the top 4 teams. Stuttgart Surge, Munich Ravens, Nordic Storm, and Vienna Vikings. Okay, but who's going to be the other 2 teams? I saw somewhere yesterday I thought it was going to be T-Ball Raiders, and it's going to be, they didn't have the Madrid Bravos, although I think Madrid is probably a better team than the T-Ball Raiders. Okay, they also had someone else in there that I didn't think, the Rhein Fire. And they're probably just going to include the Rhein Fire in there because they're in the mix. They're 5-3. They're one of the 4, 5-3 teams fighting for the last spot. But if they get into the playoffs, you can talk up them going for a three-peat, the first ever three-peat in the ELF. They've won the last 2 league championships. If they're not in the playoffs, that angle for telling stories is out. That narrative of going for the three-peat is done. And maybe you lose some interest from casual fans because of that. Although I'm not sure how many casual fans the European League of Football has. I've noticed I don't get a lot of hits on my European League of Football situation. It's a fun league. You should check it out sometime. If you enjoyed NFL Europe back in the day, the World League way back in the day, this is the next best thing. It's pretty cool. Okay. That's the news for today. Remember, check out articles on footballanalysis1.com. Got a breakdown of the position grids for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm also going to be working on a Buffalo Bills one today and tomorrow. CFL News Hub, we're going to talk about the Hamilton Tiger Cats here in the future and other CFL teams. They're all being reported on. Over some power rankings were available yesterday and stuff. Not mine, but someone else made some. Dino Sepe from Edmonton. He's actually from Edmonton. Okay. That's pretty much it. If you like the channel, subscribe. Boom, we're at 95 subscribers. We're 5 away from 100. Let's get it. I was watching That's Good Sports before I made my video, and they're trying to make 700,000 or something, 760,000. We ain't got time for that. Make this 760,000. Make this the best. I can't guarantee Brandon Pern is a real person, okay? He has the weird videos and stuff like that, but he's awesome. I enjoy watching it. But I don't know if he's even real. He could be AI. He could be getting banned by YouTube any week now. I will never be banned by YouTube. See the bald head? Why would I make an AI like that? Okay? See Tyler the Tiger? What up? Why would I make an AI like that? I don't know. I guess we shouldn't use AI or CGI or whatever. I'm a real tiger. You're not a real tiger, but you're a real puppet of a tiger. What? I'm not a real tiger? For reals?